one, if you're building a software business, you must have a technical person on your team very early on.
How are you attracting your talent and how are you maintaining them?
A lot of them are looking for that next step where they're like, where can I actually like do something and be impactful? Giving them the opportunity to like actually do something that uses their creativity, their mind, see like their ideas actually come to life.
What are some non-negotiables for you right now with the brand?
If they don't have any ambition, then they won't care. They will treat it like a 9-to-5 job. If they're working extended hours or whatever it might be, they really need to believe and buy into the vision, and if they don't get that, then they're not really going to be a true part of the team.
Yeah.
The reason these guys stay till 2 a.m. is because it's their company too, Yeah. You have equity in the business, you're a partner in the company at that point.
It has to work or it has to work.
Welcome to Circle of Greatness. I'm your host, Nehemiah Davis, and today we got a super duper special episode. So one of the things that I really I admire people who go out and do audacious, big, scary things. And today, man, I got tech founder Yash, CEO of Fanbasis, one of the fastest growing payment processor / membership sites in the world. And I'm super excited to just dive into how he was able to do it, what made him do it, and how this is helping so many coaches and consultants and course creators grow their businesses online. My brother, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Hey, thanks for getting on the show, man. Really appreciate you taking time to be here, bro.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, man. So we were in Vegas together, I want to say.
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't even realize we've been using your platform already. Like, we're referring people, we're using it, and it's been really, like, it's so funny. One of our partners, we added it to what we were doing. We increased revenue by like 20%, bro. I mean,
Nice.
Overnight. And I was like, because we were getting banned with Stripe and all these other setups, and I'm like, it literally helped us increase. So thank you for that.
Love to hear it.
Yeah. So now we bolted on to pretty much every client that we got. And if you're listening to this, go to fanbases.com. I have my unique link below. But you want to make sure you got this set up for yourself. But what made you come up with the idea, bro? Because I know you've been in tech before. You've been in the info space. And why I admire you, like I was talking to somebody the other day, and I really feel like I'm a marketer, I'm an affiliate marketer, but I'm not building my own thing. I'm building my own brand. We're building our own agency, but it's always like let me market Fanbases. Let me tell everybody about it. Let me tell everybody about platform after platform, but I never took time to build my own. So I admire you for just doing that. What made you say, I want to build my own?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll give you kind of a quick high level on how we got to where we are right now. So Fanbasis originally started as like a celebrity fan experience platform.
Yep.
You can get like a virtual meet and greet with like Dennis Rodman, or a cooking lesson with a Master Chef winner, a follow back on Instagram from someone like yourself, for example, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So, TikTok was really blowing up during the pandemic in 2020. I had a bunch of influencers that I knew that were making no money with their, social medias. They got super viral, had 1 million followers online, making like $3-4 grand a month with sponsorship deals. So I was like, you can easily monetize directly on the followers that you're already able to build up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the original concept came to play. It's kind of like building a Cameo on steroids.
Yeah.
So launched the MVP in 2021, started growing that business, ended up getting it to, a couple $100,000 a month in GMV by, early 2023. At the same time, I was obviously building a startup, so had different cash flow businesses to be able to support myself, my lifestyle, things of that nature. Was heavily involved in the info space, had my own info product businesses, and then also was an advisor and a part of a couple different ones that still exist on our platform to this day. And then also had experience with like agencies, marketing agencies, and things of that nature. So understood the info space really, really well.
Yeah.
I also had my own issues previously with using platforms like Stripe and PayPal, things of that nature. So got
PayPal notorious for it.
Yeah. I knew going into it that this was going to happen, but it is what it is. Yeah. So already got burnt on my own, understood the pain point on just the payment processing side. But outside of that too, kind of saw that like, everything was really fragmented. There, we would use Stripe for payment processing, Teachable for hosting a course.
Yeah.
Use Discord for the community, Slack for the one-on-one chat, Zapier to kind of connect a couple different things. So that was also a big pain point that I saw. And I was really like, what kind of switched in my mind was we had a lot of people, we were making a few $100,000 a month, like I said, top line. And, what I realized is the people that are really successful on our platform, even selling the fan experiences, we're kind of selling info products without realizing it. Fitness programs, one-on-one consulting or mentorship. They just weren't doing it in a super high ticket fashion or in an organized manner with a VSL and things of that nature. So I also consulted with some of those guys, and I was like, hey, like a normal reality TV star, for example, can you turn this person into an info product seller? And it worked. It was pretty easy to do that. At the same time, I'm sure you've seen more than most. Info products have been really fucking growing over the last 2 years. So essentially decided to kind of pivot the focus of our business in early 2024 to building the one-stop shop platform for the internet's hottest products, services, and communities. Primarily working with info products, digital products, services, agencies, and things of that nature. We really saw an inflection point kind of after we switched that and became kind of the one-stop shop solution with a really heavy focus on the payment processing side and the buy now, pay later side. Build the most buy now, pay later relationships of any platform on the internet. And also
buy now and pay later is huge, bro.
Massive. That's where you guys saw that 20% immediate overnight, shift in revenue.
Overnight, bro.
When people that don't have access to buy now, pay later get access to it through our platform, within the first 60 days, on average, we see about a 38% increase in total cash collected.
And that is huge. Like, think about it. Like, if you're making $100,000 a month, we're talking about going to $138,000 a month.
Yeah, and that's on average. We've seen like a lot of cases where people are able to 2 to 3x their business based off what they're selling.
Bro, and it's funny. I've spent years just going deep on info, and I'm like, one of the biggest hacks that I tell people to do is you have to add a buy now, pay later option. It's essential, and it's an easy uptick, like you're saying, in revenue. So again, go to Fanbases. I'll link it. Go get that set up. I'm game changer, bro.
Absolutely.
Because when we're working with people, one of our first things, we're like, yo, how do we immediately increase the revenue without you doing anything different?
Right.
Buy now, pay later. Platform are you using? Are you sending text messages? Are you doing? And you took time to put all of these things together, bro. How much development did it take to just, because it seemed like a lot to merge all this stuff together, bro.
A lot, to say the least. It's exciting though. We recently raised Series A about 2 months ago.
Nice.
We're building a SWAT team essentially in-house. Got a bunch of people from like product guys from Meta, from Snapchat, Sam Card, companies like that. And then on the engineering side, we got a bunch of crack developers on. So there's a lot going on all at the same time, but it's really exciting. Our roadmap is insane, and kind of what we're doing is like, we are, at the same time, while we're putting all those pieces in one place for everyone to have that one-stop shop, we're innovating with the new features that we're launching. And I can't talk about it too much right now, but you'll be getting early access to some of those features.
That's good.
New buy now, pay laters. We're working on building our own as well. Nice. And then a bunch of other features for like webinars, challenges, that essentially like a focus of what we want to build and the way we think about this space is the winner in the space will build the best revenue generation tools. Because at the end of the day, that's
what it's about.
That's what you're doing this for, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what our focus is when we think about product.
It's so funny. Earlier, I woke up today and I was like, yo, I want to do a session. Literally, I'm like, on my next podcast, I want to talk about just revenue generating activities. Imagine just during the day where you only focus. I had a call with my buddy. I'm like, yo, today, I only want you to make money moves and calls that matter. If the call does not have to do with revenue generation, do not accept it unless it's your mother, your wife, your children. Everything today needs to be around revenue generation. And then what if you do that tomorrow? Then you do it the next day. You will immediately see a shift in your business by operating like that.
Dude, it's funny you say that because like a lot of times when I mentor people too, and they're like, oh, I'm so busy. I got so many calls. I'm like, let's go through your calendar. Like, I'm just curious, like, what are these calls? And they realize like 70% of the calls they're doing are just wastes of time, where they feel like they're busy. And I learned this because I used to do the same shit too myself, and I realized like, the calls that are important are the ones that, should be filling up my calendar, and that's it. Everything else can kind of wait or, be handled by someone else on the team.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that.
Bro, it's serious, bro. And it just makes me to just continue to read, look at, and assess what am I doing on a daily basis? Is this worth, my time doing? Should I be focusing on that? Because I think it's huge.
It's harder when you're like, now when you got a team built out, got a CMO, CFO, someone that's multiple people on every vertical of the business, makes it a lot easier to not do that. But when you're kind of solo entrepreneuring, it's a little bit different. And that's kind of what I realized, like that's a mistake a lot of people make, including myself, but it's important to keep it at top of mind.
Yeah. How are you attracting top talent right now? For what you're looking to build, you got to have people all in. You got to have pretty much some of the best. I heard you talk about you bringing over some Meta guys, some Snapchat guys, some Samcar guys. How are you attracting people to leave a Meta, leave a Samcar, something that has been here for a while, to come work on a startup that they don't really know how far a startup's going to go? How are you attracting your talent, and how are you maintaining them?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. The number one thing is obviously, when we talk about the growth that we've had over the last year, most people haven't seen growth like that. We probably are the fastest growing company in the online shopping, e-com kind of space.
Yeah.
On top of that, though, if someone's working in a larger business, it's actually much easier to convert them, even though we might, in a lot of cases, we pay them significantly less than what they were making. They obviously have that equity component, the upside that comes along with this opportunity. But when you're working at somewhere like Meta, we actually realize too, a lot of the times people working at smaller, at startups, are more qualified for what we're looking for than someone working at a Meta, because they're on one team that, of 7 people that's working on one button and changing the color and the size of it for 2 years, Yeah. So they're kind of just like a cog in the machine. And that's what really appeals people that are highly qualified at those positions, because they know that it's great for them, great for their career. They have that stamp of approval kind of on their resume, but a lot of them are looking for that next step where they're like, where can I actually do something and be impactful? So we're kind of, especially at the stage we're at right now, giving them the opportunity to actually do something that uses their creativity, their mind, and be see their ideas actually come to life. So we want people where it's and we make it clear too. It's hey, when you come and work for Fanbases, we don't have any there's no set working hours or anything like that. It's more of everyone. I have people that stay at the office till 7, 8 p.m. on a Saturday, or till midnight or 2 a.m. on weekdays, just because they want to, and they're getting stuff done, and that's the culture that we've really been able to breed. And a lot of we make it very, very clear when we're interviewing, if you're not down for things like that, we don't need you to join the team.
Yeah.
So the growth, and then also being able to give people autonomy where they they can be their own person, implement ideas that they have, or it's not I'm the CEO, I'm telling you exactly what needs to be done, or the chief of product is telling you what needs to be done. We obviously have our roadmap, but we're bringing them on because of the ideas that they have and what we kind of see as them being a part of the vision of the business.
It's powerful. Just kind of letting them do their thing, but making sure it's the right people. What are some non-negotiables for you right now with the brand? Like essentially, you just said one of them is, if you're not willing to grind. Same here. If you're just looking for a straight come punch in and punch out, it's probably not going to work with you, because we're working at the hour. Sometimes we're up working till 8. Sometimes we're up working at midnight. Sometimes with last minute things. You got to be willing to move. So are there any things like that that's for sure I can't, even if you came in, you thought they were a good fit, but it's just
it happens too. Yeah. One is being a self-starter. That's the most important thing, kind of going on what we were saying there. Self-starter, having some sort of level of ambition where, because if they don't have any ambition, then they won't care. They will treat it like a 9-to-5 job. If they're working extended hours or whatever it might be, they really need to believe and buy into the vision, and if they don't get that, then they're not really going to be a true part of the team.
Yeah.
The reason these guys stay till 2 a.m. is because it's their company too,
Yeah.
You have equity in the business. You're a partner in the company at that point.
That's good.
So, having being a self-starter is the number one core value that we have. Also being scrappy. I hate people that if someone asks me, multiple questions about a task, it really pisses me off, but most people are able to I give them a task or whatever it might be, or they come up with an idea, they'll figure it out and then come up with a solution and be hey, there's 2 or 3 different options on how we can get this done. And that is highly important. It's also harder to find, because you gotta have you actually have to be high IQ to be able to, have that kind of skill set. Even if you've got the qualifications or whatever it might be for whatever position you're at.
Yeah, that scrappy, bro, is important, bro. You got to be scrappy right now.
Yeah.
I read this post about Alex Becker, right? How they don't really do a bunch of meetings, but he's like, you need people who are ready to really be scrappy, be a dog.
Yeah.
So one of the things I really do commend you, I sat down in the mastermind with Alex Becker, whatever. We pay him like $20K, like 2 days or something. And because y'all doing a big undertaking. So when I think about him, and he talked about most powerful information. I don't have a software yet, but he just talked about a widget. Like, instead of building the whole thing, y'all building the whole thing, which is dope. Find a widget. Find something like when you go on a website, you got proof or provably. All that is just a little widget saying, Yash just bored, Neo just bored, Kelly just bored. But that's just probably a piece of code, throw it on there, build a link tree,
Right.
So you're building like something huge. So what are some other challenges? And this is for somebody else that may do software or looking to, we talking about seed investing. We talking about people getting equity. We're talking about playing at a high level, right? Mm-hmm. What are some challenges that people should look out for as they pursue this particular path? Like, they may want to do software. They may want to really build a big business, right? Where you may have hundreds of employees. You got CTO, CMO, chief of product. It's no longer just hiring just some VAs. You're running a real thing. So what are some challenges that you could share, I guess, that you either went through or somebody should look out for as they jump on this journey?
Yeah, great question. Definitely a few things to keep in mind. One, if you're building a software business, you must have a technical person on your team very early on.
100%.
And I'm not saying just a bunch of offshore developers.
CTO.
You need to have a CTO.
That's what Alex Becker said. He said that's the number one. You do that before anything, he said.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, we wasted a lot of time and money by not having. I didn't have a CTO when I started, and then about year and a half in, brought a CTO in. Guy's an absolute beast. But it was a game changer. Obviously, I'm not a technical person. The way you have to look at developers in general is, you're kind of hiring a bunch of. It's the same thing as hiring construction workers, right? Especially if you're working offshore. If you have a bunch of construction workers and you tell them, hey, build a 4-bedroom house, they're going to build a simple, basic, cookie-cutter 4-bedroom house, right? If you have an architect that gives them a whole roadmap and plan of building, a palace that has 4 bedrooms, they'll be able to build that exactly because they know exactly what to do. So that's kind of how you have to look at bringing that CTO in.
That's good.
Number one most important thing. Second is you got to be scrappy. You got to get that traction early on. Whatever you need to set one KPI that you're looking for outside of just revenue. Obviously, revenue is great for every business, but whether it be users, whether it be time spent on platform, whatever it might be, you got to optimize your business and your strategy for that, because then you can go to investors and pitch the story of hey, these were the 2 things we were looking for. We might not have the revenue yet, but this is what we have here. There's stickiness on the platform, or the app that I'm coding, even if it's a video game, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So that's something that's also really highly important. When it comes to getting investment, I would say it actually you have to be really strategic with the way you go about it. Because you don't want to burn relationships. Once someone looks at your business once, it's rare that they're going to, actually invest in the future, unless you're raising larger rounds, like a Series B, Series C, things of that nature. But you don't want to go to investors too early where you're hey, you don't actually have your shit together, because then that person's going to view you in that way compared to when you could have went back to them in 3 months. You have a little bit more traction, and things of that nature. My recommendation is always for your first round, raise a friends and family if you can. A lot of people aren't able to do that.
Yeah.
But if you can do that, if not, then for your pre-seed, try to find angels that just believe in you. Yeah. Get those 25, 50K checks through the door.
Yeah.
Get a couple people that really are going to be your evangelists. Ideally, people that are users on your platform as well. We've had a couple of our sellers invest in our Fanbasis seed round, Obviously, those people are never going to leave our platform either.
100%.
They're going to be our biggest advocates.
I wish ClickFunnels had that when I started. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can get that undeniable customer loyalty. Those people will be testimonials for you, case studies. You can probably even get them to sell, larger, whoever your target audience is, in the future too. So that's something else I would highly recommend. And then the third most important thing is you got to be dedicated, because you're signing up when you start a startup or a tech business in general. you're signing up for a lot. You know, there's gonna be a fire that needs to be put out no matter what, like at any given time. Like me and our exec team jokes about it, like, we can never just like breathe for like a second. Like as soon as things are going well, boom, something happens. We got to fix that, got to address it, whatever it might be. And it's honestly like, it ends up being fun, I look forward to these challenges because it also like I learn a lot while I do that. It makes us better in every way. Usually ends up, having us implement things that make our platform better overall.
Yeah.
But you got to be really, really dedicated. And even if things aren't working out, like for the first year and a half that I was building this company, I was making, very little money at that time because I was fully just dialed in on building Fanbasis. And things just we weren't getting the traction that we wanted to for that first year and a half. And I was like, I knew, I believed that it was going to work. So I was like, I'm going to figure out how to make this work. And we were obviously able to. A lot of people, though, that I've mentored, too, have kind of quit before they've gotten to that point where it's like they have the idea and they just like, they don't have the confidence in themselves, and then two, the ambition that they need in order to actually like make it come to fruition. So if you're starting something, you got to be dedicated, something that you got to be planning to do for at least the next 5 years, hands down, working those 120-hour weeks, doing whatever it takes to make it happen.
Yeah, that's crazy. And most people just ain't got that in them, bro. So it's over with before they start. Like he's like, oh yeah, I got to work more than 40 hours. Well, a lot of times people are giving up a 9 to 5 to work 12 to 20 hours a day. Like that is the trade-off sometimes. It's like you want something that's not normal, you're going to have to do something that's not normal.
Exactly. It's like, most 90% of startups fail, right? There's a reason the 10% have something in common. It's not a game. Like you really gotta enjoy it when you do it too. If I didn't enjoy this, my life would be hell right now.
100%.
But every aspect of my life at this point has some sort of business integrated into it. Yeah. Even if I'm going to Monaco for the Grand Prix, like I met Alex Becker there last time. Like I had a bunch of clients that came with me who are friends as well. So like, hey, if I'm going to dinner like tomorrow night, like I'm going to invite a client to come. We're going to talk business, chop it up. I'll probably learn something from that conversation. They're going to learn something from, what I'm telling them. So every part of your life can kind of incorporate growing yourself personally or your business. And, that's something that I think comes naturally when you're looking to build something big.
Yeah, that's good, man. Powerful. Who are the main people using the platform right now? Somebody may be thinking, I don't know if this is for me. Share with me, I guess, some of the top users, not names per se, but industries, categories.
So the how to make money online space is one of our bigger verticals, like e-com coaching, just coaching in general, Amazon FBA, real estate, crypto, stock trading, all those different verticals will like teach you how to build a business. Those are great. A lot of them perform very, very, very well. Coaching in general is also one that's really big, where, and it's really valuable too. Kind of depends on obviously who you're getting coached by, but, see that. And then, agencies are really big for us too. Like marketing agencies, for example, just B2B agencies, SEO, advertising, even like a VA agency, email marketing. Because we can provide them just with like that use case there is really more on the payment processing side because they can actually have scalable payment processing, don't need to worry about anything.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, it's super important because like most of the out of the box solutions like Stripe or Square kind of said last year they changed their rules to like no one selling digital products or services can utilize their platform anymore.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So it's easy for us to clean up.
100%, which is good.
Yeah. But yeah, and then outside of that, the info product guys, digital products, community sellers, they are able to utilize our whole tool set pretty effectively. So kind of just like Fanbase is like a business in a box, essentially.
One-stop shop for you.
Exactly.
Guys, yes, let them know how they could connect with you, brother, and how they could stay in touch with you.
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at Yash Daftary. And then follow Fanbasis Instagram as well if you want to see like exclusive updates, get early access to features and things of that nature.
Let's get it, y'all. So listen, that just was an amazing episode. I'm going to drop my unique link below. I want y'all to check it out. Also, you can go to fanbases.com. Make sure you set up an account. I want to see hundreds and hundreds or thousands of accounts set up to help you guys make more money online. We'll see you guys on the next show. Peace.